You may not even think about this anymore, but it's important. Opt-in forms. It's the unglamorous workhorse of lead generation and all the campaigns around lead generation, right? I get it. But this is where a lead's journey with you begins or continues with your organization. So what can you do to maximize the interaction and improve your form completion rate? And I'm going to give you an approach. I'm going to show you the statistics, and I'm going to give you the results of the approach to consider for your marketing initiatives. The best way to listen and engage with this video is to take it in and consider, oh my gosh, what could I do? How do I feel about that? What is my reaction to this? And just suspend all of what you know and all of that, and just participate with this, because I promise you, you're going to be blown away. This is the first part in a multi-part series of videos that's going to walk you through an entire campaign and how this is done, how this continues from the beginning. So we're starting at the beginning with opt-in forms, okay? So I'm going to show you how to use them in a way that will improve your completion rate and segment your leads at the same time in a meaningful way. So ready? Let's drill down. We're going to explore multi-step opt-in forms. And I want to get your insights on what I mostly see, because I've done a lot of research on this. And I would love your thoughts on the multi-step form I'm about to show you and walk you through, okay? So basically, here's the thing, and why multi-step forms started to get popular, is that most of the blogs that are talking about all this cite effectiveness based on the psychology principle, the Zeigarnik effect. I don't know if I got the pronunciation right, but it's the Zeigarnik effect. And basically what it says is people who begin an action are more likely to complete it. You know, a ball in motion continues to move, right? A body in motion continues to be in motion. Which means that visitors start your multi-step form are more likely to actually complete it. Okay, so that's one way to consider what I'm going to show you here. So let's get started. Okay, so this form starts by, it comes up bottom this way, and I love the way it presented actually, but it came up just as a little line at the bottom offering you to download this thing, and you click on it and it opens up, or you click on the link, right? So it came up like this, just right at the bottom of the page, and I was just reading a blog. So I love that it was right in line. I love that it was easy, right? So I clicked download for free, and I went right to this one, okay? So I get the standard question, provide my name. What's your immediate reaction to that? What's your immediate reaction to seeing this on clicking download? And you're just looking at it, to entering your information, and you see this whole thing. What's your immediate reaction? Okay, so I enter my information. I go to the next step. Haha, they want my email address and my phone number. Notice all the fields are required. Now, keep noticing how you respond. What are your feelings and your thoughts? Where are you now? If this was you completing the form, what would you enter here? Notice I gave them a 555-1212 phone number. I don't think they've earned that yet. So, all right, we'll get to that later though. Okay, click next step. Oh my God, third step. And there is one more, by the way. Getting my website, my company name. Okay, good. Keep checking in with your thoughts if you were completing this multi-step form. And then finally, after an eternity, it seemingly, they ask for the size of the company. So likely my answer of how small this company is will put me in the discard button, and that'll be that, but we'll see. So what are your thoughts? I'm thinking I finished a marathon, literally a marathon. Okay, so in terms of completion rate, it likely is higher than if they put all of these questions on one long form, right? So if you saw this, all these questions on one long form, you made a sped through it to get to it, and maybe you would have done it in the same, but this is that whole effect, right? A ball in motion continues to be in motion. Once you start, you're going to complete it. But here's my question. So their completion rate probably is higher than what would normally be the completion rate. But my question is this: did they get helpful information? Like, did they get information that's going to help move that lead through their buying process? Or are they trying to drop you right into a sales call? Like, what do you think the motive is here? What do you think? Experienced marketers? What do you think? Put that in the comments below. Or did people start to lie because it was so long and they just want the customer journey map templates? I mean, come on. Do you guys always tell the truth? Another question. Go ahead, put that in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Now, another question is, this is the one that I really want you to consider, is how well equipped does this form make the company to effectively nurture this lead through their buying process? I asked that earlier. But other than knowing they have an interest in customer journey mapping, which is at least one data point, right? Beyond that, they know the number of employees answer. I don't know if that matters at all, other than a sales question, right? To say, are they in our perfect potential customer size or whatever? And other data that was all required. So they may not, and that may not be accurate or truthful. They may actually be getting bad data, right? Do you answer, and do you answer questions truthfully? Okay, I'm digressing, but let's look at this. So I want you to consider this, and that's one multi-step opt-in form, and this is the majority of ones that I see. But I want us to explore a different option, a two-step opt-in form. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Another example. So clear your brain of that. We're going to go to try another wine. So clear the palate. All right. So we're going to look at a webinar opt-in, and y'all do webinars. I mean, people do webinars, or you do, one sort or another of getting people to participate, but it could be any opt-in form. But here's the page. You click the button, boom, you're brought into your first step. Now notice that this first step asks you a question. Okay. So now let's look at that people in motion. Let's look at the whole relationship. I want to go into a little bit of psychology. When people first are confronted with a lead capture form, they click that button, they're on edge. What are they going to ask me for? It's friction. The more friction there is, the less likely that step will be completed. Okay. So multi-step forms try to minimize that. But you're asking about them. You're asking personal information, like, I got to give you something. But notice that this question is actually segmenting. It's actually asking them about themselves. And it's basically saying, tell us about yourself. What is your experience with email marketing? Okay, so we were doing a webinar about effective email marketing anyways, and sharing some best practices that were going to blow people away. But at any rate, tell us about yourself. How experienced are you with it? We gave them 3 options. So now your brain, we didn't ask you for your information. We didn't ask you for your name. We didn't ask you for, so your brain relaxes. So that spidey sense, that fight or flight mechanism relaxes. Okay. And you pick an option, and then you select to continue. Now we're asking for your information, but you don't have that friction going on. You don't have that spidey sense, that tingling, that fight or flight. It relaxed. Now you're going to complete the form. Okay. Now you might be asking, at this point, one of the things that you might very well be asking is, well, in terms of target opt-in rates, what is it that I should expect? Well, normal form opt-in rates are between 2 and 5%. It's a low bar, okay? 2 and 5% for getting your, lead gen to get a completion. So how well did this two-step form perform? Okay. So let's look. 41%. So we had different URLs going to it that we could measure specific traffic and things like that. So look at this: 41%, 80%, 68%, 51%. Now I will admit this 80% was our list. People knew us. This was our list. These others didn't know us at all. These other 3, they didn't know us. So now look at 68%, 51%, and 41%, a heck of a lot higher than 5. Okay. These were people who promoted it for us, and pushed and had their people go in. So it wasn't just cold leads coming in, I will admit, but still, if you're seeing 2 to 5%, 10%, 20%, or even 30% opt-in rate conversions, this blows that out of the water. Okay. So you want to think about, wow, okay, how can I use two-step forms? And that goes back to the question of, well, how can you segment? Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about is how useful the information is now. So yeah, I've got the way to contact, right? I've captured that. But now I know what's their experience with email marketing. All right. Now here's the other thing, super useful. If you've got this, we can dig into the data. So from our own list, this was kind of shocking to us. So when we saw it, we had to adjust what we were doing on the webinar. Kind of fun, right? Like that you could do that on the fly and kind of adjust. And I'll share with you in the next video how we did that and what we did to understand things better, because we developed those 3 questions, like, are you new? Are you experienced, but you want better results, or experienced, always looking to improve? We did those 3 buckets knowing that we were going to do a follow-on question, okay? A follow-on series of things that we were going to do after this person opted in, but before the webinar. So that's the next video, the one that's going to be after this. So stay tuned for that. But check this out. So on our list, the majority of people who opted in and answered the question were experienced with email marketing. And the next one was new to email marketing, but by far over 50% experience with email marketing. Now, contrast that with the people who promoted for us and their people who came in, these new leads that got generated. Theirs was by far like 60%, I want to say, maybe a little, right in there, were new to email marketing. So now we've got this split in audience. So I don't want to dumb it down for the experienced people, and I don't want to be over the head of the new people. So what do? Okay. But going into it, we had this information and this knowledge, because we can track that statistic and we can track the conversions, and we know exactly what they said based on how they told us about themselves on that first question. Look at what we learned, okay? Versus that first multi-step form I took you through. What did they learn? Okay, so stick with that. Stay tuned. And we're going to continue in the next video and show you how we use the high-level segments to engage our leads and learn even more.
If you liked the video, go ahead and click that like button. Then subscribe to receive notifications of new ones. And thanks for watching.